Well, welcome to Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Strange that it was 100 degrees on the trailer yesterday. And Doug Sewell with Sewell Motor Coach out of Harrodsburg, Kentucky, has me out on another adventure looking for an RV for him. So we got some snow-capped mountains on the horizon right there. And the only thing I know for sure is that it's an Allegro bus. So let's go take a look at it. Well, there's my ride, a 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus. And I don't think it gets any prettier than what I'm looking at right here. And apparently it's a 37 AP model. So no tag axle. And more importantly, this still has those seamless slides on it. You know I love those so much. We'll get a quick view inside because it's got that beautiful cherry wood that I love so much. And I love pretty much everything to see about it. Let me turn the lights on so we can at least see something. It looks brand new in here. In fact, it's so brand new. Check out this. It is on the Power Glide chassis. The real Power Glide, not the Freightliner Power Glide. We only have 19,000 miles on this. And I don't think you could get a better view if you tried. There's even still some snow on the mountains up there. All right, with that, we're going to get on the road to go to Sewell Motor Coach there in Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And then, of course, I will take you through the entire coach and we'll see how beautiful this is. And I think Doug found an absolute gem of an Allegro coach yet again. I'm extremely excited to drive this across the country. A short diesel, 450 horsepower. Starts up no problem. One final look at it, one final look at Scotland apparently. And I'm going to go out and to the left.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't want to waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't want to waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
traveled about 1,400 miles from Steamboat Springs, Colorado to Harrodsburg, Kentucky, where we made it to Sewell Motor Coach here. And I can proudly say, no problems whatsoever with this beautiful 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus. The previous owner did a great job maintaining it and took loving care of it. Now, speaking of the previous owner, I did find out that they had just done all the services on the engine. And way back in 2018, they went to Red Bay, Alabama and watched as this motorhome was being built. They camped out there in the customer campground in front of the shop and would check in on the build of this daily. Like I said, they loved this motorhome and they were a little bit sad to see it go for sure. Now, since I have the slide out rooms in, and this has that floor plan very similar to that 2017 Tiffin Allegro Red I just drove here a few weeks ago, I'll go ahead and do a quick walkthrough to show you what kind of space there is with the slide out rooms in. I was not uncomfortable with the driver's seat. I had more than enough room to be comfortable, stretch out my legs, and I wasn't rubbing on the back of the slide out room right here. There's a decent sized aisleway, and of course on this flooring I did find out, because it was cold in Colorado, that it is heated flooring. There's 2 zones on it, and I did use that feature pretty well. You can get to the stovetop very easily, the microwave easily, the dishwasher easily, and of course the kitchen sink very easily. Back here, this floor plan is a little bit more tight when it comes to the bathroom door. You can get through it, but you will have to turn sideways. Possibly the biggest problem with this floor plan is going to be the shower door. You cannot open it without this slide out room being open, which means you cannot use this shower unless you open up this slide out room. Now this does have a residential refrigerator. To get access to the front door, you will have to walk past it first, but the back door you have great access, along with the freezer down below, and a decent aisleway back here to the bedroom. And because the bed does not go underneath any cabinetry on the slide out room right there, you do have full access to the bed. But otherwise, absolutely gorgeous and beautiful motorhome, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. Let me go ahead and run the slide out rooms out, and then we'll take a look on the outside. And by that I mean we will get on the roof and take a look at it, but I don't expect we're going to find too much. I will point out this: they didn't put a rear ladder on these Tiffins, and I'm a big fan of not having the rear ladders anymore. Not only does it look so much sleeker and so much better, it prevents one of the #1 causes of roof leaks on top of the roof where the ladder mounts to the roof. And of course, probably the second or third leading cause for actual body damage on the rear cap is when you hit the ladder on something, because that happens a lot. Now, I know a lot of owners and RVers will say they love that rear access ladder because they can use it for different accessories and for installing things, but honestly, a good telescoping ladder or folding ladder like this costs less than the cheap aluminum ladders that the RV industry uses, and they're much more useful and so much more safe with a wide base like that and rugged construction. But while we're here, we might as well take a look at the roof of the slide out room. Now, of course, this is a seamless slide, so there are no seams on top. It's the same fiberglass on the side as it is on top. And another reason why I love these seamless slides is right here. No transition molding for water to get stuck in, and it does have that telltale Tiffin signature right here where that paint on the sealant twists a little bit, but otherwise we're looking really good there. And here we go. We're on the roof of this gel coat fiberglass roof. It feels pretty solid. And this is an 18, built in 2018, and it looks like it's still factory brand new to me. Now, while we can see there's 1, 2, 3 roof ACs, there is only 1 patio awning. It is a Girard patio awning, but this one's pretty nice because it goes out and down and cantilever, so that's a cool feature to have. While the other sides just have the bent aluminum as valance decorative pieces to balance out the roof, so it just doesn't have that box awning on top. And of course, I've been playing with the idea of using those as solar mounts at this point, because you can just connect those with a railing and you put as much solar as you want, because even though this does have solar on it, probably looking at about 200 watts. Sorry, 170 watts. Now, another nice feature is that Tiffin does use a self-leveling silicone. It's a high quality roof sealant. You can see that it doesn't crack and it doesn't need to be touched up. We'll walk on that rear cap. I don't see anything wrong right there. And we can peer over the side, but I already checked out the clearance lights and they're really good. When it comes to the side right here, I'll just give it a little bit of a jostle with my foot. We can see the factory went a little bit light on the paint up here, like they always tend to. But surprisingly, there's not a lot of sun damage or paint peeling that I can see. This fabric on the slide out topper looks really good. And of course that gutter seam looks really good. We already took a look at the top of this, and that fabric looks fantastic. Not sure what Girard changed, because I've been seeing a lot of wearing on brand new fabrics, and this is not a lot of wear on it. Come over here to the rear AC, which I believe is a heat pump, if I remember correctly looking at the thermostat. Nothing wrong with it. Sealant looks intact. In fact, I can't even look at the vent because Tiffin put so much sealant on there. I'm gonna have to open those up. Of course, to do that, we'll just come here, go to the gears. We should fans, Open up that one, open up that one, and we're here. We might as well turn on the ceiling fan in the bedroom. Hello. I've really been hammering fantastic fans lately, and I want to make sure the base isn't cracked. And I'm not seeing anything to be concerned about here. That's beautiful. All right, now that we're back up here on the roof with the vent open, we're gonna look for any sort of cracks coming up from the base here. And I'm not seeing any signs of that. So that's good. Triple vision TV antenna, nothing wrong with that. They did cram it pretty close to this second AC, but this is a short diesel, about 37 feet. I'm not seeing any cracks along the skylight there. The sealant, because they use a high quality sealant, looks really good. Come over here to the second fan, and we'll look for any cracks coming up from below. And I'm not seeing any of those either. I even like how Tiffin went ahead and put this foam seal. It's a D seal normally used on slide outs, but they're using it to redirect water from going underneath the awning right there. So it'll go over this way. That's kind of clever. Very simple thing to do. Come over to here. We already saw that we already saw the solar panel here. That branch probably joined me all the way from Colorado. Give another friendly little nudge to this one. And let's see. Nothing wrong with this slide out box because it is a seamless slide out. Like all of them should be. Check this out. It still has a factory screw in the sealant right there from when they built it. Go ahead and get rid of that. This is one that would have gone right about there. Now, speaking of the patio awning, we'll give it a little bit of a jiggle right here. And then we'll make sure that it is all the way closed up. A lot of these Gerards don't like to. So it looks like this is something I could recommend. We adjust that motor a little bit so that it doesn't bounce when you're driving down the road. Yeah, just a very simple adjustment. And then for whatever reason, a lot of these manufacturers forget to tell their painters to paint the entire front cap, and they went light on the paint right about there because of the awning here. But 2018 and no worse for wear. Otherwise, this is a gel coat molded fiberglass roof. Not seeing any issues with even the paint on the top there. And if we walk the seam, it's not loose, it's not cracking, and it's pretty much just as good as when it left the factory. Well, there it was, a very easy inspection on this 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus. We only found one thing wrong with it, and that's going to be the adjustment on the patio awning. Very simple twist of an adjustment screw, and it's done. Otherwise, both Tiffin and the first owner did a great job maintaining and building this RV. All right, guys, let me put this ladder away, and I'm going to take you through this 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus. I didn't really find anything wrong with it. Now, when it comes to the exterior of this motorhome, the first thing I really would like to point out is that all 4 slide-out rooms have the seamless slides on them. I think it's such an incredible upgrade that the entire industry should be going to it. That means it's a one-piece seamless box from the roof all the way to underneath. And of course, the fascia itself has no seams on it either. It's the only way all RV slide-outs should be built. And I don't know why they discontinued them. And so this is one of the very few chances to find an RV with them. The second thing I'm going to point out, this is a 2018 and this is currently 2025, and this paint looks just as good as when it left the factory. Even though it doesn't look like it, it's only about 37 feet long. It has a 450 horsepower Cummins turbo diesel in the back, and it doesn't have a rear radiator. It has a side discharge radiator, which is something I'd always want. Strictly speaking, as a mechanic and a technician, that engine bay is so much easier to work on when there's not a radiator there. Now, of course, we already took a look at the patio awning and the slide-out toppers, but it does also have 3 window awnings from Gerard. They work really well. They're high-quality luxury window awnings. And of course, this does have an exterior TV from LG with an LG soundbar down below. Now, because this is a shorter diesel, you don't have as much basement storage, and this has a manual pull-out, which can be accessed from either side there. A nice little feature right here, you might not see it, but there's little blue lights, so there does have ground effects or bogey lights underneath the RV and underneath the slide-out rooms themselves. I love indirect lights. While walking around your RV at night, it doesn't blind you. And of course, you'll be able to see the critters underneath the RV if there are any, even with the blue lights. Now some people might lament that there's not a basement refrigerator in here, but I'd rather have the storage space. This has a nice big residential refrigerator inside. Now back here on the driver's side is another thing I like to see, is a power cord reel. Now this one's just not a power in, it also has power out and in. So that's a nice feature to have. Over here, the water compartment is very easy to maintain, including having the exterior monitor panel for the tanks. Now one thing I don't always point out is that on Tiffins you can swivel the sewer connection. Just do it gently, don't rip on it really hard, and no concern about rot on the floor underneath. In 2018, Tiffin had already upgraded all of this design work, including the underbay supports. Now just forward of that is going to be where the Aqua Hot was located. Now, this is a 450D. I actually did turn on the Aqua Hot driving because even in the middle of May, it was pretty cold in Colorado driving across the country. And now the last thing I'd probably want to point out is going to be in this compartment right here. We have six 6-volt golf cart batteries. I think they're only about a year old. These from July of 2024. Now I am incredibly excited to take you on a tour inside this 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus. Probably close to where Tiffin was firing on all cylinders with their build quality and design. And not only was this an absolute joy to drive across the country, but I love every decision that was made inside. Obviously, you know I'm in love with the cherry hardwood throughout the entire RV. Now we just did a tour of a 2017 Tiffin Allegro Red that I picked up in Mesa and drove here to Sewell Motor Coach here in Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And there's a very similar floor plan to that. And so you know I'm already going to love it because I love that floor plan. And a Tiffin Allegro bus is just going to be a luxury version of that floor plan. Now to change things up, what I think I'm going to do is point out all the problems that I found during my inspection, but also show you the rest of the features too, because there's more features than there are problems. Starting right here with the passenger and driver's seat, these are oversized, overstuffed, and it was incredibly comfortable driving down the road. It not only has lumbar support, but it also has heated seats. And I like the quick access to the adjustable armrest, just through this little flap on the front. Now over here, it does have both hydraulic and air leveling on it. And sitting right here for 1,400 miles, I thought as the driver, the layout of the cockpit and the dash cluster was about perfect. I prefer analog gauges and clusters over a digital dash. And of course the smart wheel, I prefer this over most modern steering wheels, including it has controls for the in-dash Kenwood navigation radio rather than a big multi-function multimedia center right there. The backup camera, the side view cameras are a little bit smaller, but I had no problems with it. And of course I love the transmission controls over here rather than being on the steering column over here. And naturally, because I was driving east, I needed to use the power visor to block out the sun during sunrises. Now while I didn't get to use that comfortable looking passenger seat, here's something I did find. The power functions are not working. It's probably something really simple. A lot of times when people swivel it, they unplug the 12-volt wires to it. But just like that Tiffin Allegro Red, the slide out controls for the front 2 hydraulic slide outs are going to be located on the sides of the seats so that you, as the operator, are responsible if you damage the back of the chairs. Now on the ground or the floor below is going to be high polished porcelain tiles throughout the entire RV all the way back into the bedroom there, with the only carpet being on the level out floor, on the slide outs themselves, and on the engine cover in the back. Above the dash is going to be the over-the-road TV. Of course, I call it the over-the-road TV because the main TV is back here above the fireplace, and when that slide-out room is in and you're driving down the road, that front TV is the only TV your passengers can watch over the road. And then speaking of indirect lighting that I really appreciate, are these tiny little spotlights in the slide-out fascias that just barely cascade light down the entire length of this solid wood slide-out fascia. You can barely see it, just recessed in there. Now on the driver's side front slide out, we do have a movable recliner and of course this wraparound lounge chair. Now this lounge chair does extend out. Obviously you have to put it away to drive down the road. You have this cushion you have to store somewhere. But one feature I noticed right here, I don't know if the previous owner did it, and then the lower seat cushion is supposed to just get stored down below. Now, it's very possible the previous owner did not like how this was stored, because it did get a little bit of damage on it on the front right there. So it looks like to me either they made it or they had somebody else make this slip cover that goes over the top of it. And this is a very high quality, well built slip cover that you put on basically like a pillowcase, and that'll protect it from damage. But I did want to take the time to point out that the bed right here in the sofa, besides being a very simple and easy to use one, bring no air mattress on this one. And it still has the plastic on it. Now, while it might look like there's no room to walk around with the bed out, we put this away, the countertop extension right there. There's still a really good aisleway, so you don't have to put that away. Now, speaking of how much I really like the decor choices on here, I don't know why I keep fixating on their lighting fixtures, but I haven't seen this lighting fixture before too, because it has this curved reflector on there. It almost looks like there's 3 light fixtures in there, but there's only the one acrylic tube in the middle. And of course, above the slide out on the fascia, we have more indirect lighting, which really catches that curved cherry wood, and again, makes for a nice indirect lighting that really warms the place up. Obviously, on a luxury RV, you do have power day and night roller shades. And they can be accessed right here with shades. We can do the day shades right there. And instead of being boring day shades, they actually have a little bit of a color scheme to them also. And thankfully for me, Doug and his entire crew, all these power shades are working fantastic. Now, on the main TV right here, rather than just housing it in a wood paneling like you'll see throughout the rest of the RV, they have that same matching floor tile with backlit LEDs again. Now, speaking of great design choices, we need to focus on the galley slide out over here. This is a 2018, and I think it points out how important design choices really are, because the decor on this and the build on this, if you told me this was a 2025, I would absolutely believe you. This does have real stone on the backsplash right here. Again, it is housed in some ceramic tile with a Corian edging on it, and it's all backlit again to cascade a lot of light. I'm not a huge fan of having a window right there. I know some people do, but I prefer a big backsplash right here so you don't have to be limited on your countertop space. Of course, we did see you're not that limited because you have this pull-out section right here. And then the cabinet drawers themselves, all the secondary wood is all real solid wood too. It looks like it's made out of maple to me. This does have a 2-burner induction stove top. Now, the previous owner even left the original. Above right here is a Fisher & Paykel drawer dishwasher. They said they never used this, not even once. So basically, it's still brand new. Now, one of the most bold design choices right here is going to be the Galley sink. This is a completely customized, matching, incorporated Corian sink. It is asymmetrical with... Now, another common problem I normally see on a Tiffin is that this under panel on these cabinets is loose, but I did inspect all of them and I did not see any of them loose. But as we move further back, we'll find it does have a Whirlpool residential refrigerator, French doors on top for the refrigerator section with water and ice in the door, and of course a freezer section down below. But I also love a pantry. And then I don't know how you can't see all this solid cherry wood and not fall in love with it. It's held up very well. It didn't even have the problem that's pretty common with a lot of these Tiffins, where the bathroom door shrinks a little bit and doesn't hit the jamb the way it's supposed to. But you can see we have a continuation of that ceramic tile on the floor down below. Now, this does have a porcelain electric gravity toilet. So I know a lot of people that are not a big fan of macerating toilets would actually appreciate just having a normal gravity toilet. But here you can see this has a very similar floor plan as that Allegro Red that we just took a look at. It does have a vanity built on the slide out room in the on the driver's side rear. It has beautifully sculpted Corian sinks. And then I didn't point it out in the Galley, but all the fixtures are very high quality polished chrome fixtures, which no matter the era or the time, always look great. Speaking of looking great, look at that shower. This is one of the unique features of this floor plan, is having a mid-coach shower. So if you did have a guest, they don't have to go through your bedroom in order to get to your shower. This has a completely custom built shower made out of that same solid surface corian you'll find throughout the entire RV. A trough drain right here, emblazoned, or I guess laser cut with Tiffin on it. It does have that flip down teak bench seat you'll find on a lot of RVs. And again, incorporated into the walls is that matching stone woven tile effect. This does have a rainfall shower head, a body spray, and something I like to point out on almost all of these Tiffins is that skylight cover, which really is a nice feature to have. Now, I'm still calling myself about 6 feet tall. It does look like we have a pretty good size step up, maybe about 7 or 8 inches. But when I step up into it, I didn't have to duck my head. When I step down, I don't have to duck my head. And when I am inside, I'm 6 foot tall. I can get underneath the shower head right there for rainfall. And of course, that's a lot of space, another foot to the skylight there. It's also nice because this is basically a Jack and Jill bathroom, so you can have this pocket door right there to get access to the rear bedroom, or you can go through this pocket door right here to get access to the bedroom. Now, I did promise to point problems out that I did find. Now, this latch right here is binding, and I think it's just this bracket right there on top needs to be adjusted a little bit. It does still work, it just binds. This is going to be the fourth slide out. It has a king size bed on it, and I think this is a foam king size bed. So not inner spring coil and not air bed, but very clean, very comfortable. It does have end tables or nightstands on both sides with both USB and 120 volt outlets. You have whole house control with this one display right here. So you do not have to hop out of bed to go to the touchscreen display over here to operate everything. Now, we already did see the ceiling fan, but we didn't see, sliding this door open right here, the laundry center, which does have a stacked washer and dryer from Splendide. And while having sliding mirrored closet doors in the bedroom area is not an uncommon feature to find, neither is a motion activated light fixture or the end wall safe. This has a little storage cubby drawer down below, which you don't see in a lot of RVs. Now, I know a lot of you might be saying, James, you said you'd point out all the problems that you found with this, and you only pointed out like 2 or 3 things. Well, that's because I only found 2 or 3 things. Now, I just went through my notes right there, and I did forget to show you one thing. Right down here is the door stop. The spring-loaded door stop is missing, so this hinge passage door could theoretically hit right there. But that's it. Those are the only problems that I really found with this 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus. It's very evident to me that the previous owners loved this RV, took pride in it, and took care of it. I almost feel like an inspection wasn't necessary. I hope that you guys enjoyed the tour of what would possibly be an RV I could see myself buying. I'll see if I can't track Doug down real fast to see what he's asking for this. All right, Doug, I just told everybody how perfect and beautiful this 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus is.
Don't say that. You're going to jinx me.
Oh, that's
now
good.
The engine's going to fall out of it.
Don't say that.
Yeah. What about that bus?
It's a beautiful bus.
I am so jealous that you got to pick this up and I didn't. Really wanted to see that.
There's still a lot of snow on the ground there.
Well, maybe it wasn't as pretty as it would be in maybe.
Oh, it was gorgeous. It was like almost like it was as green as Scotland, but it still had that snow on the mountains.
Yeah, rub it in.
All right, so Doug, everybody wants to know, what would be the price of this 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus?
This one's going to be $250 million.
That's difficult for me to do the math. So that's $250,000.
$250,000.
All right, so
you'd be
I just put another 1,400 miles on it. I think we just went over 21,000 miles.
You mentioned that you might be interested in trading your Beaver to this.
Well, I think if I was going to buy an RV, this is one I would definitely be looking at. All right, so $250,000.
$250,000.
Go to SewellMotorCoach.com, ask for Doug, and bother him.
Why not?
All right, thanks a lot, Doug.
Let's go, thanks.
Probably the biggest problem, and the one thing I'm going to tell Doug he probably wants to be considering, is that it still has the original tires on it. So these are going to be from the second week of 2018. So even though they did take me safely all the way across the country, I would probably recommend, as we're at 7 years, that Doug go ahead and take care of that. I think he does it anyways. All right, guys, there you have it. $250,000 for this 2018 Tiffin Allegro bus. 37 AP, I think that's what it is. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call Doug Sewell with Sewell Motor Coach here in Harrodsburg, Kentucky. I'll put a link to his website down below and in the description. beautiful motorhome. I had a great time. Thanks for joining me with this. And then of course we're gonna do it. And then of course I will, and then that. Now, I'm still calling my, surprisingly so far besides that, the biggest thing I find is that looks like when the factory built it, somebody stepped on the sealant right here and smeared it and tracked it around on the roof a little bit. I've been guilty of doing that myself, so I understand that. It's just cosmetic at this point.